Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, sis. Glad to see you here. Welcome to Woman2Woman podcast. I am so honored and blessed that you decided to join us. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Woman2Woman and why this podcast matters so much. First of all, make yourselves comfortable. Get at home. This is not one of those formal things. We're very informal. And I just want to honestly speak to my sisters. Just let's vibe out together. Okay? So the thing about Woman2Woman, we are a women empowerment podcast. Everything designed about this podcast is designed for women and their healing, their nurturing. One thing that we have gotten away from that has always been proven through time with our ancestors, our grandmoms, our big moms, our mothers, is sisterhood bond. There is nothing more powerful than the bond between sisters. So on this podcast, we are not guests. We are not friends. I don't do friends because that's an unstable connection. I do family. Okay, so from this day forth, you are my sister. I love you. I'm here for you. And thank you for being here for me as well. The thing about Woman2Woman, I am a woman who have gone through, and like many women, have gone through so many things in our lives, whether it be bad relationships, being a Black woman, just all the things that entail with being a woman. We know what it is. We're never good enough. We can never do the job, although we do the job. So all those things that attack us on a personal level, on an emotional level, on a mental level, this is a safe forum for us to come, discuss those things, to actually pour into one another, to rebuild one another, It's great to have a relationship with your husband, your boyfriend, your man. That's a whole different type of bonding and healing. But there's nothing like the bonding and the healing from a sister to sister. So I created this forum because throughout my life, I've always somehow drawn women to me of adversity that have gone through trauma or just very traumatic incidents or situations. And we've always connected, being one to myself. As they say, I guess birds of a feather flock together. And about 10 years ago, or not 10 years ago now, about in the making, 10 years ago, I had a conversation with one of my sisters in regards to my book, which is called The Broken Compass. This book was actually the result of, I'm one of those people, honestly, I tell anybody, I was Murphy's Law from birth to at least about 40-something years old. I was the true proof of Murphy's Law. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong, and it went wrong for me. So, and I got tired of it. I had a conversation with my sister. I was in a narcissistic relationship. It wasn't good emotionally. I was being abused emotionally, mentally, financially, you name it, whatever. And I had a conversation with my sister. And I was, we were talking, and it was like, why does this constantly keep happening, to me? And she was facing her own adversities. And we were just trying to figure it out. And I was like, us and our broken compasses. That was the actual statement. So that's what actually birthed the title of the book. At that time, it was just a conversation, but lo and behold, the Almighty and His plan. So I decided, we talked about it. I kicked it around. I fought with it for 10 years because I didn't know, first of all, where to start, how to start. And then I had to make myself vulnerable and getting to a place where I would actually put some of my own personal adventures out there. That's a hard thing. especially in such a judgmental world right now. We're in a society that everyone is judged for every little thing and every little thought. So trying to actually be transparent and wanting to put that out there and even trying to help another person is normally perceived the wrong way. And actually, excuse me, I thought my earring, does just, it's hard. It's really hard, and especially from a woman's point of view, because through history, we have bared so much scrutiny, So any little thing we did, we've been mislabeled, the angry black woman. Oh, she's not good enough. If she dates too many guys, she's a whore, she just all these things, So it makes it hard just being a woman first, yet alone an individual, right? So I started the podcast, like I said, it's in relation to my book, The Broken Compass, and I can show you, which is available. It's a 3-part series that's available on Amazon. It's actually about life out of alignment. And what I come to find when I was going through my transformation, and please know that transformation is not negative. But when I was going through my transformation, of course, my mindset at the time was negative. I perceived it as a negative thing because it hurt. And I realized that I was out of alignment. I was out of alignment with my Creator because everything that my Creator says about me, I didn't believe about me. Everything that He said He would do for me was not happening for me. So I had to think about it. And then I started to get my life, start small, spiritually, getting my life back in track with God. And as I did that, I started seeing things coming around. Things started turning. They started going for the positive, and there were some things falling away. Yes, they were still hurtful, but it was a good thing. And in doing so, I realized when you're out of alignment, it affects everything. It affects your mental. It affects your emotional. It affects your financial because you're out of control. Think about it. When you're in a nautical seas, the compass tells you what's north, what's south, what's east, what's west, whatever way you're going, right? So let's say the barometer is off or the compass itself is broken. That hand just spins and you don't know where you are. You get lost. And so that's the same thing with God. God is our compass. He is the one that grounds us, that guides us, that centers us, everything. And actually, shows us where we need to go. So when you lose that connection and you're not in alignment with that, you're all over the place because you're flying blind. And that being the case, my life was all over the place. If you read the book, or I can tell you through the different podcasts that we will be going through, you will, and I'm sure plenty of women out here, just as myself, have gone through so much. So my why for making this was, number one, I wanted a place where the ladies could connect, be safe, be honest, be transparent, be vulnerable. Build that bond and know that everything that you've gone through, number one, okay, is still part of God's design, okay? It is still part of His designs. He has to have soldiers. And in order to develop soldiers, number one, you have to go through the fire. Please know, anything birthed out of fire, to be birthed out of fire, is some of the strongest lasting metals, anything that comes through the fire. Because to survive fire means you survive the most dangerous, the most destructive and impenetrable thing out there. Think about it. Swords are forged in fire. And if you use the right type of steel, it's unbreakable. Our buildings, the main structure of most of our buildings are steel that's forged together through fire. And they're very strong. So I want you going forward, number one, whatever adversity you've been through, my sister, know you were selected by God because, number one, you were strong enough. He put something in you that could withstand that fire. And you have something that he's trying to birth in you to help another sister, to help another person. Okay? So, and again, I wanted to have a place where we could talk, because there's so many podcasts out here and everybody's talking. But my thing is, are we saying what always needs to be said? Are we speaking when we should be listening? And I wanted to provide a forum for that. So Woman2Woman is not only about trauma, it is about, like I said, sister bonding, whether anything that, we can do to help one another. Back in the days, our ancestors, the women taught women. They taught them how to be women. They taught them how to be feminine. They taught them how to be submissive. And it's not about being in something abusive. There is nothing wrong with being, as they say, a soft woman. Okay? We could use a lot of that. Unfortunately, so much has happened that we are not able to be. But truly, we are. And there are men that will be on the podcast, because I want my sisters to know, just as we have sisters out here, we support one another, there are men that help us and support us as well. Not all men come to destroy. There are a lot of men out here, not even necessarily relationship-wise, romantically, just friendship. There are a lot of men that come to also help restore and to support and to build us up. And I've been blessed to actually have partnered with quite a few. And they are my brothers. I love them, and they're awesome. And my prayer is for you to find, number one, that sisterly bond here, where you feel safe, you feel heard, you feel respected, you feel validated, and that you can actually open up. Because as long as you leave it closed up and you keep putting that shell up, you're not doing yourself any good. You're making yourself sick. And it's too many of us, and sis, we need you. I love you. I'm sure there's other women out there that love you and need you. So therefore, I want to provide a space for us to release. Release, rise. That being the case, I would like to share with you trauma. Trauma is something that I think we have a misconception on, okay? So when we talk about trauma, we always talk about the event that we went through. Let's make no mistake. Events can be very, very, very impactful. But trauma is not the event itself. Trauma is actually our physical and psychological response to the event, right? So that being said, how our mind perceives a thing is going to determine how we respond to it. Now, if we're in a negative space, or we're taught that everything is negative, or we only look at the negative, we're going to respond negative. It's going to impact us negatively. But if we look at something that is uncomfortable and know that there's something good that's going to come out of it, well then, now we can put a positive spin to things. Is it going to hurt still? Yes, by all means. There is no growth without pain. Let's make that clear. There's, just like they say, no pain, no gain. They say that in workouts, everything. So in life, no pain, no gain is true. That is nothing but growth. And then if God is putting you through something to grow you, honey, it is an honor. It is an honor. So I want us to look at trauma differently. I want us to look at trauma in the manner of this. Number one, T is for transformation. Please understand, when you're going through what you're going through, there's a transformation about to happen in your life. And transformation always means elevation. So that's a good thing, because you're not staying here, right? You're being leveled up for new assignments. R is for realignment. there is always some place that we can actually tighten the bolts, tighten the reins, and straighten our walk closer to God and whatever it is. Always. And when we need it, he's going to do that. He's going to realign you. Don't like it? Yeah, but it's for the good. And then A is for awakening. There's so many things that we do not know. And there's so many things that we do know, but we don't know. And that sounds kind of crazy, but it's like you can have a conversation, you know something, but then you don't act on it, you don't respond to it in the way that you probably should. But then when somebody else says it, it's like an awakening. Oh, it's an epiphany. But you already knew it. God has equipped you with everything. And there are things that he has to uncover in you. So it's an awakening to your mind, to your heart, to your whole perception of different things in life and people and experiences. And then you have understanding. You definitely need in anything to actually be able to complete something or comprehend. You have to have an understanding, right? So that's what your U is for. It's just like when you went to school and you taught a lesson. In order to graduate from that lesson and be able to do the work, you had to understand the work. So understanding plays a huge part because you have to understand your purpose. You have to understand what is being asked of you. You know, what is coming out of this, whatever it is. And it doesn't always have to be traumatic, but I'm talking trauma right now because we have a lot of women who, even in their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, that are still bound by trauma because they have not learned how to either release it, to find the positive in it, whatever it is that they were supposed to get from that to elevate, and then they're stuck. And they're just repeating over and over and over and over and over again. Understand, if you do not get the lesson, you are doomed to repeat it until you do. And as for mindfulness, we have to be mindful in everything that we do, we say. It's an intent. Mindfulness is intention. Okay? So we have to take accountability. We have to think about the things. We have to be fully aware of the things that we're doing, we're saying, we're creating. Because trust and know, when that word says what you sow, you will reap, it is so true. And it's not necessarily that you've sown anything bad. It's not that you have, but the mindfulness of what you're doing, because there's a lot of times we get in situations based off of a feeling, a negative feeling from something that we experienced, and now we've gone on and we perpetuated something else, right? Hurt people. So these things, you want to be mindful and intentful. And then the last A is the most important. It is the most beautiful part. It is the ascension. It is once you've gone through all of that and you gain the understanding and you're working through the healing, you're ascending to another level. You have reached a place where not only are you in a better place, you're more knowledgeable, you're more whole, but guess what? You're also able to reach back and help somebody else. So the whole thing about Woman2Woman is a place where iron sharpens iron, where we can sharpen ourselves against each other, where we can help shed enlightenment from each other, because I don't know everything. Lord knows I do not. Don't even want to act like I do. But there are things that I know that can probably help you. And I know there are things that you know that can help me. So, and that being said, this is a whole place where we can come together and really be sisters. No judgment. No condemnation. And that's pretty much the whole reason why I started this. Again, like I said, I've had a journey of, Lord knows. But I want to give back. And I want to partner with other women who want to give back. And I want to help women who need. So that being the case, I I am looking forward to future podcasts and you tuning in and calling in and we having conversation and helping one another through, times of need and even just a moment of laugh. Hey, girl, people don't realize really how silly we are. They think women are all serious and not fun, and we are some of the most fun people out here. So that being said, I love you, my sister. I'm here for you. I support you. I commend you, and I'm proud of you. And thank you for tuning in. And sit tight to be prepared for the next show that's coming up, where we talk about expectations. And that being said, I love you. Have a good night.